Yeah, after my Mugude, I give her on over Mugudena, Mehoviva in a hair. A market or a Mozukuna of a Mona T. Afema. Was there no car met my Rena? Okay, Farnati after my book. I am a Pika Bitseman, late Fabuma in the heat from Nukan. Ama, Emon Loguma, he like my woman son. I think why I so cook Ergana Nagua, Erganati. As a big and all the other jacket and Babia Kama as a winner. Mare Pupu of Pak, and now Gila Giddy, all that time out. Masa of my Noka and Joel, no don't put no the big below. What you do you? Alpa, you might be cool, a papa, or the Abma Capamayo, a papa, you might be baggy. So, the now came Maya very suka provita oje gube RP how this say it will be ama if you are talking about na mo de na era mama ko ya na maya ro ogi me yana era mama mo de sa
amo de afema aro la so ma ge ba mo na na so adi maro me mo ya lo
era ma iha ni no ki ogbona no go era yo ama ele mara ga yo yi egbegbe gwe no kiake wa emo afema no ka gbena o be pama zagbare abe kake a goma ize be ni egi ara ke a ilana ni mayona ni mayona ni maza pato ni bitema ama kere ke bitema ima ke gbekwa lo ze ke ami uru edo da oni onwa na oko edu ami etako
ni na o we pupu
ubuki apo era na maza pato na bo ama e amude na mara wuji ira ma wuji no a wa bo agoma abi afemo yo abma gbare lagi egwe ma yo ise ma izake ki afema maza abma zi binira na pato ma izake yi obododo ki agwa ma kere re bo maza ki afema pa ora we na ma abone mo ira de ke me to irike mewena me rewo ama emera mo ha we na mo akia mo gwe nukenu noro mo mo nukenu we do de mai gore mo abugo kenu ge mepio me ni ro me ma ti wegima na metimi ze he one mo ma ba ma gara to blari ugbo tore na ta fema ni ma ke ma we na re ugbo tore na to yagi ihe ze be ni he aba uma re eri ngwira re kekego ere ro ni giria wena obu baba wo giria wena ama obu tema ma mo obenayo he yo ebenata fe ma re hina akena he ya ra weni giria ogu
nokia obi opa nokia fe ma ko iheze nokia yo pa koko edu ko wa mi o pa ma ke de ze honeta ko ya mi o pa ma ke ze mo lo bi tema yo
ndo da ni mama mo obi tema ma ora ma ro je na ora duoma aba ma tisisi na ma tumi ha ke ni gwenayo la ni me to ike meli obo ogwenayo na ni mitwe ze ke afema aka ni bena ni ke nu le wenigwa
ngwa nu ya to bol ma ke nu ni gi ma mo boyo na here le ru pali ma ke ze
ama on expect men na ka ho gwa ro de we ma expect men na KFM 92.7 no you to binirana ni maza ro ne mo na de gbere yo ama ema me ka ma we na we ne loki ugbotore na ti afema bali yo mara oji onirama na mitimize ko mo abo groma aba ojo la gi oboza va obi gbare no kure wenama ono mara ri meto iri ke mele ugbotore na ti afema amude na kwa kenu de ma gbere no kya ke nu ko eli mepio na wa he me ni we ke nu ko eli mepio nu be groma abiti yo orati no le ra mo umati ole peto me na de ma gbere 07062639275 sorry ala you go na 09039394427 uga mati de na de ma gbere 08121789154 amugude na elora ma amugude sa
omo afema
musa epeto menati KUFM 92.7 yo to binirana ni maza wigiyeyo ikenu gui aya fema abaregie ubuzava lagi ubatore ti afema aboyo mare ti o to binera nare mari zakeki afema modina
elime loki Solomon jegede inabuakpe wepa likia Lagos liye nabi ogbonu náà agumaza beniba ọkùnrin máa ti gbẹtẹ máa za beni pàtó máa yọ ebi ọba yọ máa híà ọgẹ yọ máa wọ máa heke máa yẹlẹ máa láti mi zẹ kẹ ebe kúrò máa ebọ ìyá rẹ máa yọ máa ọ yọ máa wọ tàbí yọ ọgbọ́n ìzà pàtó máa lè bá ọ̀bàdà ọlọ́bàdà náà bí yọ máa pa ọtọ ìbílẹ̀ nàbí ayò pa lọ́kì fámìlì ọ̀pá àwọn àìsàn ọ̀bàdà ọlọ́ba ọ̀kẹ́ yọ ọ̀dọ̀ láyà rí màmá ọ̀tọ̀ wọ́n lè tí ọ̀bàdà rí má lè bá ayé rò ọ̀nà ayẹlẹ má lè yọ má lè yọ ìpípẹ́ ọ̀yàgbó lọ làgíríà ìmẹ́ra kèbíza yà ẹ̀mí ọ̀nà ọ̀mẹ́ra kèbíza yà ẹ̀mí ọ̀nà ọ̀mẹ́ra kèbíza yà ẹ̀mí láǹtà sọ́kùá ayé tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ yìí ìsakọ̀ọ̀lẹ́ ìtòmíyọ́ ọ̀wọ́n ìtòmíyọ́ kókó ẹ̀lú. Ògbà ọ̀tọ̀rẹ́ máa ti bìnrin òwúrọ̀ pààyè wà yọ̀ọ̀dẹ̀. Òlẹ́gẹ́ tí ààrẹ yìí máa bá wà ní kí ìwé bá gẹ́sẹ̀ yìí lòpá ìmọ̀ ìyè ọ̀yọ́ dọ́là. Ó ní ní láyé àjẹ́ ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ àgẹ́lú dẹ̀ wọ́n dùn lọ́la àwọn ọmọ kéde gbé à. Àbọ̀ kí a ní lábẹ̀rẹ̀ kí ń jẹ́ ònyẹ́ òmùpáwá ẹ̀ abẹ́ ìdìbò náà sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pẹ̀ dégbèá ìpín sùzàrí ọ̀pẹ̀ dégbèá ìtì ẹ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ́gbèá ìsàrùtì. Tàní àyà ayẹyẹ ilé ọ̀dọ́dà lọ́sà yọ̀ kíá. Ọwọ́ àbọ̀kà ìléwọ̀ ńlá yọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ kò ṣe wọ́n tó nínú ìgbòdà ó ṣàkóyè ìjẹ́. Wà ní ebe ní ọ̀rọ̀ kẹ̀kẹ́ wà á dá ìwúyẹ́ ìṣàkóyè ìjẹ́. Bọ̀dé káàkiri gà ń yẹ̀mẹ̀. Òwe mi yẹ kókó rẹ̀ yọ sọ̀rọ̀ àgbo. Àmọ́ òwò pàlẹ́ má parí màkíá. Yẹ́n sọ̀rọ̀. So àbọ̀ yà pa yọ bọ̀tọ̀rẹ́ lọ́kọ̀. Ó wà ná ọmọ mi tẹ̀ máa ọmọ ọmọ àgbèrè ìbá yẹn kẹ́là. Ó ní yọ sọ̀rọ̀ ó àlẹ́ má kí ọ̀yọ̀ pa. Tàní gọ́mẹ̀tì náà tẹ̀ dé wá. Èyí kìlọ̀ èké yẹ gbogbo náà sọ fún ọ̀kẹ́ náà wà. Máa gé zùmí máa abáyá pàjọ ìpàtọ́rí. Tàbí yóò èké náà ìyàwó ní bí ó tọ́ mà. Èmi skul. Ẹni bí ó tọ́ máa ké náà yàwó náà. Àké náà mi ní jẹ́ kí ayé takọ̀ àmì afẹ́mà ọ̀kẹ́ àwùjọ ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀ náà yàwó náà. Ọ̀nù bí ọ̀pá máa tún màmá ọ̀ àzá ọ̀ kí abọ́nà kí wọ̀pá tọ́mà gèdè wọ̀pá ní ọ̀pá ǹzẹ̀. Ọ̀nà kí ẹ̀pẹ́rì ọ̀kẹ́ yà dẹ̀pẹ́ náà sọ ọlọ́kì ìzàrí ọ̀kẹ́ ìzàrí náà sọ ọlọ́kì ọ̀kí ọ̀dà ọ̀kí àmà nàbí ebi ìgbò ẹ̀wọ̀n ọ̀bì ọ̀pánọ́kì jẹ́nẹ́rà nílé kẹ́mi máa lè gbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀kẹ́ náà àyẹ̀lá wọn náà ìsúkú ìdìbò afáfẹ́mà màá wọn lómi yìí máa ń mọ̀kí afẹ́mà ẹ̀kọ́ nàbẹ́ bí ọmọ dìskẹ́ irú fm wa wọ́n á zọ lóbi àkókò dẹ̀ ẹ̀hìn sọ. Ọnwa èso ọnwa ìdáhìí tí a fẹ́ máa kó ọ̀sọ̀ lóhùn àmọ́ àmàkí ìwọ̀n láti máa kẹ́ lọ́kì dídá rẹ lọ́kì àbúlọ́kì tí wọ́n máa èrò máa yà àyà tó dẹ̀ ọ́nì the central language ó àbẹ̀ ǹzà ọ̀mìà kí a bẹ̀ wọ́n láti máa bàrà àbọ̀ pìà ọ̀nì bá ọ̀kí mi tótó lọ́kì ayé tó ẹ̀rọ máa ń gẹ́tà àrùn central language náà ibi bọ́ wọ́n ebi yorùbá wọ́n ebi hausa wọ́n lọ́kì ìwé pàmòdòrè fúnra ibi náà jẹ́ wọ́n máa ń kẹ́ máa pàjẹ́ màrà àbọ̀ pìà èyí màrà àbọ̀ lè pìà àmọ́ ní máa bọ̀ wí lọ́kì wí lọ́kì the central language fúnra yàwó náà lé ọ̀nì ìpẹ́pẹ́ ní máa jẹ́ lọ́kì ẹgbẹ́rì lọ́kì ẹ̀wẹ̀pẹ́ lọ́kì ayànù èyí àwa tàbí yọ màá zá ọ̀yọ́ kò máa ké àbò egbè àwọn mi jẹ́ màá mọ́ sàmú màá mọ́ ọ̀bùrẹ̀ pa wákìlá yà jẹ́ kada kini mara ya wani aha azono azo school aha egbana ya azo egbazo no o kuri na si afema general ezi buyo all you ma ken na ise wa for ma to be no to ma as afema makia ni ma go to ma da ke na ni ze ha ya era boyo ma go be ne ki ni ji na se ma ko ma do igbe ma ba ma he ga yewe ma to bo an ba no de okay go ni ma ke ma ya ze to the general umina ti afema era ke lo ba ni si yo wa ma to bi no yo ze la na le bokia oya bu ko la ko egbe yes ma wo ni ma te ma no pa ya wa le ya say you may be win it is how get le this back tani we no yo je ma ka ja ya uji aya wa ula o no na aya wo ya kara ni ti ko dojo so ni ma ki o wa na tani aya ni ken ma mo yo pa no ti ti o ka ma general le ja this man who your family when see general from my language around my ti yo ara ya mo do my arena school because when we take out our work in your boyo kere lobby and from my mark your parents are your farmer kia your farmer makia I am part of the mo to mark what that I do people America man you to my you what is the movie looking the central after my language oyo le ati akaba yo fa na akila geje wa za yo ma ke na ni zeke wa mo sama wa mo na grade wa ga ye ni na ri seminar wa za ga ye re ni ma la ru o wa no eta kono etuno ma ga ye re ma du draw ona ni ma ke making my arena. Oh, he's out can not say. I get as a book.
Okay, say you have for a more ni man, like I to me with him in only Emon Martina Ere. It out with him and not catching no fire. And more the team lucky. But already after Magua, I got him when I can't Amui Nazaru Nazaruna. We remember one share. Akake wena oluwiri obodayo wena it's remaining case wenu ora yo we iki afemize iki takoze
una bon ikake do trauma ayeto ina nebe ni kake yawe ona ki etako we pa ikake na ayeto ni aya mu kake na yes paucha mo za ka ya ni orugbe eni ri ka ni yo esa konfo oki aya no oku zaru oku we pa oki auchi esa ko la oki a ni bari ma ye lo pa ni mo za ke ni so yo so oni ma we ye oni ma ze wa no la ka ki oki o ti apa mai ko oki na se mo oki a o ye na bi na bi Yorùbá wa e mo ko keke ni le je no ati di central Yorùbá ni le je Yorùbá e kini yo o ati Ìjẹ̀bú lo ze wa Yorùbá ma no bo Ìjẹ̀bú lo ze e bokia Yorùbá lo so get ma ko mi ko ka ni ma la ka ze o mo ti o pa ni o ko mi ni mo ki yo ko je yo
ọlẹ́ máa yẹ wọ̀nyẹ gẹ́gẹ́ ní gbogbo ọ̀nùwà òwòdì náà àmàkẹ́ ọ̀pẹ́ gbìyànjá obi kí àtẹ̀má ní eré wọn ọ̀tọ̀ wà kíákà wọn ọ̀nà kéènà nílẹ̀ ọ̀gbọ̀n ọ̀tí ọ̀kéènà rí tẹ̀pẹ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n gbogbo ọ̀má tí ọ̀rẹ́ pẹ́tẹ́ mẹ́ta gbogbo náà 07062639275 sọ́lẹ̀ àyà wọ́jọ́ náà 09039394427 ògbẹ́nà tí gbèrè àgbẹ̀má gbèrè 08121789154. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mo de sa. Era ba dajuma.
O ko wa gudu.
Musa.
àkókò ìgbẹ́jọ́ wa. Ní ọjọ́ ìmọ̀ọ́rẹ́ abẹ́ tó máa dárò ìtọ́rí èyí ọ̀rọ̀ kiri. Èmi náà ẹ̀ ilé ẹ̀rọ pálíkì ní ìmọ̀lẹ́ra máa gbogbo ìmọ̀ọ́rẹ́.
ọ̀rọ̀ ìwà ló sọ yọ.
Ẹ̀yin ká ló ń dè. Èmi náà ẹ̀ láti rí ẹni ọ̀dẹ̀ àlọ́kà rẹ̀ ló kọ́ orí náà yà ẹgbẹ́ ìgbẹ́ ìtọ́rí. Ní ìgbà tó ń bẹ̀ yára, ó ní ìgbà tó ìtọ́rí mi ló rẹ̀ parí. Nínú ìlànà tó kàwé rẹ̀ yára tó ìtọ́rí mi rẹ̀ parí mi ní orí ní ìtura ìpínlẹ̀ mi ní ìgbẹ́ jẹ́nẹ́rálì. Àbúrò yóò yà ìgbà náà tìlá ìlú orí ní ìtura ní jẹ́ orí ní ìtura ní kiri ìrìnà ìtọ́ ní ìtura. Ọmọ ìgbà ilé ìwé ìgbàmà ìgbà ọ̀rọ̀ àná ọ̀gbọ́n ìgbà ìwé ìgbàmà. Yàrá yóò di ìtòrí ìwé ní ọ̀rẹ́ sáré. Ìpè náà ní wọ́n ní láti rí àná ìrẹ́jọ́ náà ó ti rá náà yàrá níbi náà dé ìwé sáré ìtọ́mà níbi ọmọ àkùkù ìlú àgbẹ̀ká tó rárá. Àṣàfihàn náà ṣẹ̀jẹ̀ fún náà ti máa gbìjọ sáré náà rẹ̀wé náà. Ní ìrẹ́mà àgbẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọmọgbọ́n náà náà ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìkẹ́ ìrà yọ̀ ìyíra nígbà ìdílé kọ̀ọ̀rọ̀ ara àlàmánà rẹ̀ ní ìrẹ̀pà níbi àríyọ òkè àásù ìdílé kàkọ́ náà dígbàtò òun náà yà zọmọ náà jákòókò ẹgbẹ́ òun náà di ìwẹ̀pà níṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ó ní kẹ́rin ìrà ayọ̀ rẹ̀ èyí.
ọ̀rẹ́ wọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àwàyẹ rama musa.
Rama.
ok rama. ọkùnrin àmàlẹ́tìmẹ́sẹ̀ àfẹ́yọ ìtàkọ̀láàrùn nínú ìgbọ̀n à tí ẹ̀dẹ́ nìkẹ́ tẹ̀lé mọ̀fú kìlẹ̀ àzọ̀yọ̀pá àrùn bìtẹ̀lá àfẹ́yọ kìlẹ̀ la rọ̀ wẹ́ni yàrá ọ̀gbọ̀n.
àbí àkókò ẹ̀dùn là ń gbọ́ wọn.
Òkè wèmí kì í pàṣẹ bèmí ẹ̀rọ yọ náyàwó ẹni sàkọ̀. Máa sàkọ̀ náà kì í torí local government àti ugbe náyàwó ẹni hóra. Nígbà ìgbà ní bẹ̀ yí ibi tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àákúrò àgbègbè àmọ́ the governor ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àmọ́ tàbí ẹ̀tàkọ̀ àmì àfẹ́mọ́tò lè kéde wọn wọ̀ pálílà àyàjẹ́. Òṣèlú so ìṣe àkọ́kọ́ bẹ̀ yí the governor ní Ọbaṣẹ́kì yọ́mẹ̀wá màá ní commissioner for education ní Nàìjíríà yẹn. That the three central districts were pọ̀ ní àná ìmọ̀lá tó that ọ̀nì ebeni kẹ̀kẹ́ mi kì í ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ èso àmọ́ máa ra ẹ̀rọ àrà máa ń kẹ́lẹ̀ sí kàkọ́rọ̀ fáwọn ẹ̀rọ àrà wọn níbi dá má ẹ̀lẹ́ fẹ́ ẹ̀rọ lè mẹ́rin náà nípa ẹ̀rọ lè mẹ́rin náà má ẹ̀rọ àrà máa ń bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ kí ẹ̀rọ tún sọ́yìn àìsàn ẹ̀hẹ́n so ọ̀ àti ẹ̀rọ wọn àti àbẹ̀ mọ̀nà ara wọn ti yẹ báwọn pàtó ẹ̀rọ wọn rè gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì mùsàlá sẹ̀lá àlọ́kì mọ̀nàmọ́ òwò ọ̀pá ní
apẹ̀máyàzẹ̀
ọ̀wá àkókò ẹ̀dọ́ the three local government tẹ́lá òwò ọ̀pá lè máa yà wẹ́ náà ìfì máa wò yẹ the government ní ìjà rẹ̀ 2014 láti àkúndégbé láti ìtàkùn náà yà wẹ́ ní high school the government ṣe yẹ ní ọmọdé ìlọ́wọ́ yóò tọ̀ òsínà yóò tọ̀ tàbí yàrá rẹ̀ máa ní afẹ́mà ìní ìlú ẹ̀dá ọ̀rẹ́ lánàá yà wẹ́ náà school ọ̀pá tẹ́ yàrá rẹ̀ náà wà. So ẹnì kẹ́rin kí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀tàkọ̀ three local government lọ. Ẹnì kẹ́rin three local government. So ẹ̀yìn ayọ̀ ni mọ̀nàmọ́ kẹ́kẹ́ máa wúlẹ̀ máa wẹ́ ní ibi ntí àkókò ẹ̀dọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìtọ̀ wọn. So ìlú àti ìdígbé ní àbúkọ́ fún ọ̀pá ní àwọn ọ̀pá ní ẹ̀fọ́mà àwọn ọ̀pá ní ìṣà àwọn ọ̀pá ní benin iye sọ. Fáàlì kan ní wọ́n ní wọ́n máa ń fi ìtẹ̀wọ́n ànábìyá wẹ́lẹ́rẹ́ since 2014. Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ la máa ń dàtẹ oyè ìlọ̀ ilé kékeré dà afẹ́mọ̀ ní wọ́n fẹ́ fọ́n ní àwọn ọ̀nà ìsukùsọ. Gẹ́tì kàwé yóò lé la mọ́ wọ́n ti tẹ̀ máa wò gbé náà máa lé gbé ìwé máa lé dára báyẹn nù wà ní bọ́ọ̀mù ní ìjà àmọ́dé àyèsé báyìí tó ní gbé tẹ̀ máa wà bí àti la máa ń ní ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀kọ̀ fáwọn ẹ̀yà wọ́n ní gbé mẹ́ta máa wọ́n di ọ̀pá pẹ̀lú wọ́n lọ́pàá fẹ́ máa so àbáwá mi ṣe ní mo bá tẹ̀ máa lọ conference.
ẹ̀rọ ayáwó náà ti ìkòkò gbàdúgbò náà ní gbogbo ní wọn máa dùn gbé náà yàrá ilẹ̀ táàkì ṣùpẹ̀rẹ̀ yọ náà rẹ̀ má ti fi rẹ̀ bá egbò.
the crown head measure of the way the papa na lema me back. We like to get that or cabo. I'm not a great thing. It's around me. So over now, my guy, me it's a pencil when I have already. Now the child has not really given back.
That is a cook for Bonat or Yapo. That was a cook for Bonat or Yapo.
Only the account where I didn't know you are, where I didn't answer. Now, any I think 1,000, keep on the house to so that I need December. My match more is no yet. My hair plate, my head plate, my original give me my master. When you come at plate with it, I've got another work here. I've not got to say.
Okay, Rama, who have been. Na mi tumi zɛ kɛ muma tigi ma mɛ amuguden na ama kɛ ma ke ya wɔrɛgɛ ya awɔjɛ nuke ya na gbɔngbɔn nyɛma ɛmɔ na ti afɛ ma ama
ti gegbɛ ma nɛmu pa olu gegbɛ ma bu ɔnu kia dɛ bu za va so na ya kpo ne wo bi tɛ ma gele.
Ama kɛ o gbɔni ye ke mɛ emi ye ke mɛ he gbe na lɔ ki nenu le tsɔnu wa na re bari o dɛmɛ la vari ke kɛ ma re tsɔnu wa na re yɔ. Iya zuwa muke mu gba fema ne mu paro
emi abu afema lókì wọ́n sọ ní bí màá máa jẹ́ bọ̀ náà wà wà sáfẹ́ wà ayé ní kí n rí sàkọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ lè fẹ́yìn ẹ̀jẹ̀ làwọn àgbẹ̀bọ̀ ìfẹ́ wà ó rí yẹ sọ máyà tí máa yára yẹ ní ọkọ ọmọ máyà tí ó lè máa gbé àwọn àgbà yẹ ní ọkọ ọmọ ẹ̀kú wà ní Yorùbá. Àwọn ìdílé tó máa jákòó láyé ìfẹ́. Má lò ó. Àwọn ọ̀pọ̀sọ̀. Pẹ̀lú ọmọ máa láì máa tọ́sí máa kéna ìmẹ́jọ ọdún màmá ẹ̀sìn bọ̀ kọ́. Láì ìmẹ́jọ ọdún màá wà wà.
Rama, who have been able to miss it, who do we ma, no question me, Mare, Gaime, Niafema, Amudina, who have been a Makia of Yankia, one Bukia, Goma, Abi, and one Femo.
Okay, one of the other person I would bring the work out and not do my people have said, and I have done so.
Amag Irama, no, you may go out of Irama, so Mojagede, or Gori, Lupa, Lokia. Ma Anna Maza, so name soon, and it will make a reggae, okay, name out there. Ama, if you cannot bad day, Magera reggae, only Yemen, like Giga. Mimi ni ga ti mai bere me ku biwa ina he
no moda sika me
ape ma wa mu gudi
to let una know say our governor Godwin Obaseki and him deputy Philip Shaibu wey dey do all the better work for Edo State wey we dey see and wey we don agree to vote to come back and continue the good works. No dey rapa say again o. Na PDP dem dey now. So therefore my people, on the day of election, na PDP we go vote and na umbrella we go press our fingers. My people, na wetin I talk. You say na PDP we go vote and na umbrella we go press our fingers. Una don hear am o. Vote Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu on September 19th, 2020. Vote PDP.
92.7 KUFM. 92.7 KUFM News. Concise, precise, balanced, unbiased.
We are live, Benin City to the world.
This is 92.7 KUFM Newsbreak.
The time is 5 p.m. Good evening and welcome to Newsbreak on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. First, the headlines. Governor Obaseki appreciates God for successful ward campaigns. NLC insists on holding peaceful protests in Rivers State on Tuesday. Federal government provides relief for flood and Boko Haram victims in Northeast. On entertainment, Justin Bieber takes Drake's place in DJ Khaled's pop star video. And in sport, Lionel Messi rejoins Barcelona training section tomorrow. Details of these and more after this break. I am Esther Mohammed. The news in detail. The other state governor and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Godwin Obaseki, says he is grateful to God for the successful conclusion of his campaign across the 192 wards of the state. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service which held at the headquarters of Omega Fire Ministries Worldwide, Auchi, Governor Obaseki noted that the campaigns across the 192 wards were held inch-free. Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu stressed that the bond between himself and the governor, aside the mutual respect, were on the desire to have a better state for all. Elsewhere, the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Ayuba Wabara, says no court of law can suspend or stop the provision of the Nigerian Constitution for a peaceful protest by citizens. Wabara was reacting to the statement credited to the Rivers State Commissioner for Justice and State Attorney General, who described Tuesday's September 8th planned protest by the NLC and TUC as going against a court order. In a statement signed by Wabara, the Labour raised an alarm of plans by the Rivers State government to deploy armed thugs to counter a peaceful protest by workers seeking payment of their entitlement. The statement appealed to Governor Nyesom Wike not to involve himself with an attack on fellow Nigerians, while also appealing to him to focus his energy in meeting the demands of the poor workers. The concerns of the Labour include the delayed payment of outstanding salary arrears to teachers and health workers, promotion arrears since 2015, payment of pension and gratuity to retired workers in the state since 2015, amongst others. And on to the FCT, where two National Youth Service Corps NYSC members of Batch B 2019, Ilori Ayetola Deborah and Iluzuba Patrick Chiagoze, have gained automatic employment in the Federal Capital Territory Administration for the outstanding performance during their one-year mandatory service. The corps members also bagged ministerial award in recognition of their immense contribution to rural communities, especially during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. FCT Minister of State, Dr. Ramatu Aliyu, commended them for exhibiting what she described as consciousness and selflessness during their one-year mandatory service. According to her statement on Sunday by our Special Assistant Media, Austin Eluwe, the minister said 2 core members did well and should be honored. The Nigerian police force has arrested 2 suspects for defrauding a German company of 14.7 million euros. The suspects, Babatunde Adesonya and Akipelu Hassan Abbas, are members of a sophisticated transnational criminal network. This was disclosed by the first spokesman, Frank Umba, in a statement issued on Sunday. The suspects were said to have cloned the corporate website of RLBN Holdings BV, who learned to transact with the defraud one chairman Cedric von Ham, a representative of the German state of North Rhine. I'll take that again. The suspects were said to have cloned the corporate website of RLBN Holdings BV, who learned to transact with and defraud one Frederick Volham, a representative of the German state company. Umba explained that the fraud bordered on the procurement of COVID-19 personal protective equipment, PPE. The federal government has donated assorted food items for distribution to 26,067 households who were victims of Boko Haram insecurity and floods in Borno State. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Ajia Sadiya Farouk, said this on Sunday while briefing the state's Deputy Governor, Umar Kadafu, in Maiduguri. Farouk said she was in Maiduguri to also discuss the immediate humanitarian needs of the state. The food items include 26,067 bags of 12.5 kilogram rice, 26,067 bags of 25 kilogram beans, 26,067 bags of 12.5 kilograms maize and millet, 1,304 bags of 20 kilograms salt, 2,607 20 liters of vegetable oil, 4,345 cartons of seasoning cubes, and 2,173 cartons of tin tomatoes. She urged the state government to provide the necessary information required to enable the Nigerian Air Force to drop food and non-food items in locations that were inaccessible due to insecurity and flood in the state. Coming up in a moment on Extra Voices, Benin residents have a sigh of relief as flood control work improve their environment. Details shortly.
World of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks. Market women don't know whether they be anything. But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market women, there is no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any passion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the task. So don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice, documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Welcome back to the news. The heavy downpour that greeted the Monday morning of 31st August would have been another source of worries and concern for some Benin residents, especially those living in erosion and flood-prone areas. But the discomfort that comes with such heavy downpour were not experienced due to the ongoing flood alleviation and protection construction works by the Edo State government under the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NEWMAP. In this edition of Extra Voices, Chinedu Ikeja spoke to residents in flood-prone areas. They said they can now have a sigh. I'll take that again. In this edition of Extra Voices, Chinedu Ikeja spoke to residents in flood-prone areas, and they said they can now have a sigh of relief.
Raindrops are seen as showers of blessings, but this is not always applicable for many Benin residents, because for them, after rain comes sorrow. But the ongoing flood catchment and elevation works has brought some relief for many residents who can now witness dry land shortly after downpour. At Gapiona catchment in GRA, Mrs. Juliana Osweke and Joy Ebeku could not hide their joy following the Monday morning downpour that left no trace of flood in their previously flooded roads and premises.
I don't understand. I saw this children did before. As I park enter the rainy season, they carry children. If I didn't carry my children in the past, water will reach me. And as the water they move, if you not draw your leg, it will carry you, come out. So many children, bag, shoe, socks don't lost. This is the Nigeria, but I don't know say Nigeria, but now I don't know to say Nigeria now. Obaseke, now my baba.
They believe the project has opened the place and make it more accessible.
If they pass now, if they go school now, if they see road they pass. But before, they go round under people street, like go pass. But you see now, how many motor they lock here? Then go push motor go stay, go pass here and you go dead there for 1 week.
Before now, once there is a drop of rain, before you know it, even if it's not even here, all here will be filled up. You can't even pass. Though they have not finished the job, but the little they have done now, have taken care of the erosion problem. Now, if you want to get Keke now, can get them here.
According to the project coordinator, Edo State's NEWMAP, Dr. Tom Obaseki, the Gapiona catchment design was meant to address flood problems within the GRA axis.
The Gapiona project is purely flood management, and it comprises of a combination of underground drains, side drains, and 7 pumps.
The project is being carried out by the Edo State government under the counterpart funding arrangement with the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NEWMAP. The project covers different flood and erosion-prone areas in 10 local government areas across the state. Within Benin City metropolis, there are about 4 flood catchment alleviation works. There is the Gapiona flood catchment and alleviation work close to Abuja quarters, Ubo GRA, the Ura flood catchment point by Aduawa axis, off Benin Auchi Road, Ogiso Osunde Point by Ogiso Quarters, as well as Igusa flood and gully erosion works, all in Benin City. Each of these catchment points has ponds of different sizes and numbers designed to drain flood water from the road shortly after downpour.
The pond have dual function. They act as infiltration and also act as attenuation ponds. By that I mean they slow down the movement of the whole flood, gather it in one place. At its base of them, it now flows to a second pond.
The catchment points have a network of drainage channels that are connected to an underground tunnel to be linked to nearby rivers.
Then there's actually a consideration to finally take the water to Ogba River. But for now, with what we have, it can actually solve the problem. But we are looking at the development that will come in the future from other sub-catchments within that area. But from the design right now, it can take care of the problem in Gapiona. But we are looking at not just the short-term or medium-term future, but we are looking at the very long-term possibilities. That is why we are considering taking it to the natural source, which is the Ogba River.
A landlord at Ura community, Apostle Felix Oge, told Extra Voices that he was contemplating quitting his house for fear of flood, but not anymore.
We have been thinking how to relocate. Like my own year was a pond, but it has been evacuated to other. The government is doing well. We are happy for the project. We know that when this thing is fully done, here will be like London for us.
Though the 3 ponds at Ura catchment point have not been completed, but another resident, Isaac Temitokbe, told Extra Voices that the project has shown prospect of alleviating the plight of the people after rains.
Only this Ururana, many communities, the erosion is coming this way from Owe, Ehumudu, Enyai. All the erosion is coming this side. And when you pass through pipeline now, you see that the erosion from Enyai, Coca-Cola that side, pass through pipeline and they come to this Urura side. When they come here, everywhere will be filled up of water. But if they can channel it to Kunede, we will be free.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Mr. Loki Wasa, told Extra Voices that Edo State government is up and doing in meeting its contractual obligations in the payment of counterpart funding.
That's why you see that all the projects are going on very well. Amount due to the state as far as the counterpart funding is concerned in each of the projects, the state honors them, and we've been paying since the present administration came to force. That's why you see that we've addressed a lot of erosion problems in the state.
He is optimistic that if sustained, flood problems might soon be a thing of the past in Edo State.
Before now, if you are coming from Lagos, you get to Esatin Barrack. That place used to be very flooded, but we've been able to address it. The work is going on gradually. There's no way we can tackle all at once. I'm sure by God's grace, by the time the governor comes in second tenure, he would have been able to do a lot.
The project were awarded in October 2019 for a 2-year completion timeline. The majority of them are currently at 60% point of completion. Residents are therefore keeping their fingers crossed, waiting for the day when rainfall will cease to be a source of nightmare. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Chinedu Ekeja.
Coming up in a moment on our entertainment news, Justin Bieber takes Drake's place in DJ Khaled's pop star video. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Good to know you are out there listening. This is KU News Break. Over now to entertainment, where DJ Khaled has released the music video for his Drake-featured single Pop Star. The video starts with DJ Khaled barraging Drake with multiple video messages, pleading with him to make a video for the song, which the duo had released in July. Drake barraging about not having time to finish his own album or travel due to COVID-19 restriction, much less shot a music video. He decides to call in a favor from Justin Bieber, who stands in for him. The video cuts to Bieber, who wakes up in a mansion full of merrymakers. The music video features Justin Bieber's managers, Porter Brown and Hailey Baldwin Bieber. Elsewhere, Beyonce has donated $1 million to help black-owned small businesses that have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The gesture is being done to mark her 39th birthday celebration. 2 days after her birthday, Beyonce's philanthropic foundation Be Good announced that it had partnered with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And that's all from our entertainment desk this evening. And for some sports stories, Lionel Messi will return to Barcelona training for the first time since waving the white flag in his bitter transfer saga with the club. The Argentine reportedly linking up with Ronald Koeman on Monday. On Friday, Messi announced that he would be staying in Catalonia for another season in a bid to avoid legal proceedings, which the club over the eligibility of a clause in his contract that would allow him to walk away from the club for free. Barcelona has disputed the clause, arguing that Messi missed the deadline of June 10th to trigger it, and as such, any club interested in the 33-year-old must miss a €700 million release clause. Messi will thus remain at the club for the 2020 to 2021 campaign. According to Barca, the superstar will return to the club for pre-season training on Monday once he passes his coronavirus testing. And that's the news. Before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Governor Obaseki appreciates God for successful ward campaigns. NLC insists on holding peaceful protests in Rivers State on Tuesday. 4 Finally, the federal government provides relief for flood and Boko Haram victims in Northeast. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Remember, coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Use your face mask while in public. Stay safe. KUFM's news break was produced by Nusahari Uwadiai. I am Exter Mohammed, saying thanks for listening. Good evening.